This is Hot Rod with a review of the Universe series Cheetor. He's the deluxe class toy and he's based off the Beast Wars character of the same name. This one has been given over to us by Modelmania for review. And doesn't want to be posed. There we go. Beast Wars I really like. I think it's really well written, even though it looks a bit manky, especially now, these days. But the Beast Wars toys were ones that I never really got into. I wasn't into Beast Wars when it came out the first time around, so I don't know what the quality was or what they were like in terms of posability and transformation. This Cheetor, Cheetor's not really one of my favourite characters. There's only one young upstart and that's Hot Rod in my estimation, but you know, people like Cheetor for whatever reasons. So it's quite, I mean, I haven't bought him myself, and after reviewing this guy, I don't really feel an urgency to buy him. I know fans might, but it's not, Cheetor as a character is just not for me. The mould here of the actual animal, this is the Henkei version, by the way. The mould of the cheetah is quite nice, though it does kind of, you can see bits of the robot as you spin it around and take a look in blue joints and such like that there. And if you flip it under, you can see a bit more of that. Paint scheme wise, it's you know, it's yellow, fading into a kind of a cream colour on the paws, with black spots throughout. There is some blue on hinges and things like that for the robot mode that are revealed, unfortunately, but I guess there was not an awful lot that they could do. He does have a little feature on the back here. He's got a little tab, and when you pull on it, he kind of snarls his mouth. His eyes are green, and when you actually pull this, they turn to red. I don't know how well that's coming through, but you can't do anything with the head. You can't move it up and down or anything like that to pose it. It would have been great, but if this could lift it up and the kind of head could have been pointed down, that would have been fantastic. But I think because of that feature that's running through there, they couldn't do that. But the legs are pretty poseable. You can bend them pretty well, and you can bend them at the paw and things like that. The rear legs aren't as poseable. They've got all the joints and stuff like that, but just because of the way they're laid out, you can't really do much. And obviously the tail can go up and down. So that's kind of really it for the alt mode. It's pretty cool. I really I think this is really nice. The robot mode is where it's, for me, it's not really what I'd be looking for in a Universe toy, but so we'll transform the figure now. Okay, and there you have the robot mode of Cheetor. There's not really an awful lot to say about him in terms of kind of design quality. It's not the worst looking thing I've ever seen in the world. You know, there are a couple of niggly little things about him. Unfortunately, it's really hard to kind of go into it, but obviously I'm going to try. From the front, he looks pretty good. He looks really good, in fact. He's thin, he's slender. He kind of has a hint of the Beast Machines version, which was very angular and tall and thin. Whereas the kind of Beast Wars version was a bit bulkier. But the design starts to kind of suffer a little bit when you look at this kind of backpack on the back of the body. I mean, that just sticks out, makes him look like a capital P. Sticks out like a sore thumb. And then the actual arms aren't great. It's, I guess, the way the kind of these kind of big bulky bits which make up the cheetah arm kind of sit here. It just sort of leaves the arms just kind of lodged inside a piece of ugly looking plastic, really. But I mean, those things aside, it's actually a pretty nice looking toy. If you could take this off even, because the backpack on like Universe Galvatron's pretty horrendous, and at least you can take that off. If this was easily kind of, you could just take it out, be fantastic, but because of the mechanism that's in it to make the head do its thing, unfortunately you can't. Which is a real shame, because that's the only real thing that is an eyesore about the toy. The arms, the more I kind of look at them, the less they bug me. So really it's just kind of that's a real shame. Colour wise, it's less of the kind of cheetah pattern. Yellow is still here. There's some gold there on the thighs, with some more kind of metallic blue on the knees and shins. We've got this kind of tan colour here on the arms, and some dark blue that we're used to with Cheetor. And then on the head is actually, it's the galvanised plastic, it's metallicized, so the head, every bit up here is metallicized with gold, blue and red. The face is more accurate to the TV show as well, which is nice. Underneath the cheetah head there's a maximal symbol there, which is really, really cool looking. And the tail, when detached, slots in here into the arm as a whip. Under each of these panels here at the side, you can store Cheetor's throwing stars, it's very similar to the animated Prowl figure. And these are transformable. They're stored like that, and then you just pull one out and the other two come out. And these can actually be stored in his hands as well, for display and for play. But it's not a terrible figure, he does come with a decent amount of posability. The head is a little bit kind of, this panel at the back has a tendency to catch on the shoulder parts there, or the bits that run either side, but it's not so bad, you can actually pose him. This doesn't stay in, it just kind of sits loose in his hand. The legs go in and out, forward and back, they bend at the knee. And there's also, because of this here, there's actually a little bit more articulation, so you can kind of bend the toes and stuff like that. There's no waist movement at all because of a locking mechanism here. The arms can go in and out, they can bend at the elbow slightly, hampered by this big lump of plastic. But that's it, you don't get any wrist kind of articulation or anything like that because of that plastic. But overall, he's not a terrible toy. I mean, I know that a lot of reviews have really cussed him out and stuff like that, said he's a brutal figure, blah 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 blah. He's not one that I'd buy, but that's more because I don't like Cheetor as a character. But he's not a terrible figure. It could have been so much worse. Could have been a little bit better, but it definitely could have been so much worse. The only real thing, I can deal with the arms, but this thing bugs the hell out of me. It's just, it's too big, it's too there, there's no way of hiding it. You can't like take it off or anything like that. And that's a real shame. That's the only thing that kind of lets him down. Because other than that, it is a really cool looking toy, So unfortunately, as a result of that, the score being based off of this and based off of these is going to be pretty average. He's a 3 out of 5. If you're a Cheetor fan and you can see past this, I would give it a 3.5 to a 4. But as a result just of this and the arm thing, in terms of design, it really does suffer a little bit. So for me, it's a 3 out of 5. If you're looking for him, he's not on the shelves over here at all in Ireland. I'd be surprised if we see any more of the later waves in Universe. Modelmania has in the Henkeis and the Universe. So if you are looking for a Cheetor, I'd recommend going to Modelmania. And I think that's about it. Okay, take care.